As promised in the previous video, we will do an example on the high-low method. First of all, let's start off with the question. You bought your car at Honda and you drove it over the months. You drove it from September to December. On September, you drove it for this many kilometers, this much, and so on and so forth. And their respective costs were $30,000 in September, October you had $40,000, $50,000, and $60,000 in December. I would strongly recommend you guys to pause the video and attempt this problem on your own. And once you have done so, and if you get stuck, or if you want to verify your answers, please continue on with the following video. Let's begin. The first step in solving this problem, you have to ask yourself, what is the highest level of activity? The activity in this case is the kilometers driven. That is the activity. So in our case, it was 50,000 was the largest one. Okay, and how much was the cost? In 50,000, this is the highest activity and the highest cost. The highest activity was 50,000, and the highest cost was 60,000. Next, what is the lowest activity and the lowest cost? Well, the lowest activity over here is 20,000, and the lowest cost is 30,000. Awesome. Let's move on. So we have to use the formula as we stated before. It's the change in cost over the change in activity. What is the change in cost? So over here we had the cost. So we had 60,000 minus 30,000, which is the change in the cost, which gives you $30,000. Next, what is the change in the kilometers driven? The highest kilometer driven is 50,000 and the lowest is 20,000. So when you take the difference between these two values, you will find that there's a 30,000 kilometers driven. That's the change. If you take both these 30,000 and divide it by this, you will get a variable per unit of 1. Okay, excellent. Now you found your variable cost. What is the fixed cost? That's the main question. In order to find the fixed cost, you should structure your page in the format as shown over here. Right, activity level, the high and the low, the total cost. You know that the total cost was 60,000 for the high, and for the low it was 30,000. Okay, less the variable costs. So so now you take the variable cost of the highest one, which is 50,000. You times it by here. You place it here and you multiply by the variable per unit, which is 1 over here. So you do 50,000 times 1, which will give 50,000, and you do the same one, but this time for the low level of activity, which was 20,000. So 20,000 times your your variable per unit, which is 1, which will give you 20,000 kilometers driven. Next, in order to find the total fixed cost, you have to take your total cost you have to subtract it by your variable cost, which you found over here, which will give you a total of $10,000. Finally, in order to find your maintenance cost is equal to your fixed plus your variable cost. Now you already know your variable cost, which is $10,000, and you know that your variable per unit is $1 times X. I hope that's clear for you. Please stay tuned to the next video where we will be doing some more problems.